was like crazy. I was laying in bed and checking my analytics, and I saw 10,000, and I literally screamed. My husband came running in thinking there was a bug or something was wrong, but we got to celebrate 10K that night, and it was so amazing and special. And now I'm here to celebrate with you. I asked for your questions and y'all delivered. I wrote them all, every single one, in this book, so I have them all ready, and hopefully I won't miss a single one. I know that a lot of you have been patiently waiting for me to do this, so thank you for your patience, and I hope you're excited. And I also want to say to all of those who have subscribed, watched, commented, liked, thank you. You've made this so much fun, and you're the reason I keep posting videos and I stay motivated and inspired and all that stuff. So, huge thank you. This has been such a dream, so much fun. I love ASMR. Okay, let's just get going. We have so much to cover. Okay, this is literally just the first page. I think there's like 4 pages of questions. I've tried to categorize it a bit. So we have personal questions, which is like a huge range. Then I did like personal favorites, because a lot of people asked, what's your favorite this? What's your favorite that? So I put those there. And then we have ASMR related questions, which I love. A few like goal and future related questions. And then career questions. So that's how I sectioned it. We're gonna start with just all of the personal questions. Okay, let's start with all the basics. Age, height, where I live. I am 27 years old, about to be 28 in December. I know, I look really young. I get that all the time. I do not look my age. I was actually at a work conference last week, and someone thought I was 22. So I have a really young face. I know when I'm older, I'm going to be very appreciative of that, for sure. But right now, especially in a career work environment, it's hard to be taken seriously when people think you're really young, and I'm not. And I've been in my field for like 6 years at this point, so that's a little tricky. Height, I don't know, I'm 5'7". You know, I think it's a little bit taller than standard height for a female. Not really sure, but I'm 5'7". My mom and dad are both quite tall. They're actually taller than me. So I guess I'm the shortest of the 3 of us. But yeah, as for where I live, I currently live in South Florida. I was born and raised here. I've lived in Florida my whole life. Do I love it? No. But this is how it's been, you know, that's life. Sometimes you just kind of gotta go with what life brings you and what works out for you. My husband, for his job, he does work from home, but he has to live somewhere in Florida. So for the time being, we are here. We're on the east coast of Florida, but we're thinking about making a move to the west coast next year, and I'm really excited for that. I believe there were some other Florida questions. Okay, this is from the favorites category, but favorite thing about Florida. tornadoes and tsunamis and mudslides and earthquakes that just happen. A hurricane, they see coming from miles and miles away. Sometimes we'll have a whole week to prepare. So for me personally, hurricanes do not make me nervous, and that's just because of time and experience. Hurricane season is just a normal season for us in Florida. Okay, now that we got kind of the basics out of the way, I'm just gonna read an order that I wrote down. What is one thing you really want to do? So basic, but I want to travel as much as possible. That's really one of my top priorities. I would also like to live outside of Florida, since we've been talking about Florida for at least 1 year. I just would love to do that. I'd love for that to be in my future. But they said one thing, I'm trying to think of like one specific thing. Okay, this definitely combines travel, but I have this dream to take a 3-month sabbatical of working and rent like a little cottage in on the coast of Ireland, maybe near Cork or Kilkenny, and just live there for 3 months and just disconnect and be at peace, read books, write poetry, knit, sit by the fire. I don't know, just simple, live really simply for a couple of months. So that's one thing. I narrowed it down. That's one thing I would really like to do. Okay, the next question was asked by so many people. This was my most asked question, which is, do we want kids? Do you want children? When are you gonna have a baby? Like, so many questions. And this is all I gotta say on the matter. Yes, we definitely want kids. We're definitely going to have kids, but not anytime soon. And that's what I'll say. So the answer is yes, but not now. Okay. Do you regret any decisions, or do you live without regrets? I definitely try to live without regrets. But y'all, having no regrets in reality is really hard. And I definitely have a few. The one that always comes to mind, and I think I would consider it my biggest regret, is how I handled a situation with a friend. I had a really close friend growing up, and I made a mistake. And I will say it's the only real big mistake I've ever made with a friend, and I lost that friend. And it was on me, like it was fully my fault. We were 17, I was young. I didn't know how to handle difficult, tricky situations with people, with feelings, with all that, and I made a mistake. I'll just leave it at that, and that is by far my biggest regret. It was also a huge lesson, and I took time after that to reevaluate, how I need to be as a friend, and that something like that has never happened again. I made sure that never happened again. So that is something I regret. How was your college experience? It was really good. I really loved going to college, and now that I'm older, I believe we need to shift the idea of college career-wise. I didn't get anything out of college. Sorry, there's a fuzzy in the air. I feel like I could be doing exactly what I'm doing now, even if I didn't go to college, because I learned everything on the job. And I feel like unless you're a lawyer or a doctor, like something where you literally have to study, I don't know, this is dramatic, but life or death information, most people, I think, feel like they learn on the job. So I think the importance of college is the experience of it, not necessarily the learning of it. I think if you can go, you should, just because it'll make you a better person. It'll help you find yourself. It'll understand yourself. It'll help you discover what you love, what you're good at, sometimes even what you want to do. It doesn't happen that way for everyone. Sometimes college doesn't help you figure that out. But I think for becoming a better human being, college was amazing. And I really went all in. I had so much fun those 4 years, and nothing but fond memories for me. I think it was worth it experience-wise. It was worth it. I definitely worked hard and, did the bright futures, did all that to pay for college and get in and stuff like that. So I know it's not easy, but it was good. My college experience was far better than elementary, middle, or high school. Far better, definitely my environment. I didn't get along with a lot of people at my high school, and I kind of found people I actually liked in college. Okay, what are you most afraid of? I think I'm most afraid of not being fulfilled in the future. I'm afraid that life will get in the way of my happiness. Stress will overtake my happiness, and I'll kind of lose sight of being happy. You know what I mean? You see a lot of people in my generation and the older generations, they don't look happy. They just don't seem fulfilled. I don't know. And seeing that is my biggest fear. I'll do everything I can to not let it happen, but if I have a fear, it's that I want to feel fulfilled always, no matter what, because I know when I feel fulfilled, I'm the best version of me. Yeah. Would you ever live outside of the US? I don't know. I think I would have to learn a lot more about the way the place I'd be moving to is structured. Don't get me wrong. The US needs a lot of work. We are so imperfect. There are so many problems. But there is a reason a lot of people are trying to live here. There is still goodness. There is still things that help you achieve your dreams and make it easier to go after the things you want. It's such a double-edged sword, and I have really complicated feelings of it. I want to travel a lot of places, but as of now, I don't think I would be trying to move outside of the US. If I did, the top options would 100% be Canada, England, Ireland, Australia. Again, I would have to learn more about what living in those countries are like, but from what I do know, those would be those top picks that I would have. Okay, the best girls trip you ever went on. I've actually gone on very few girls trips. I think 3 in my whole life, and by far the best was my bachelorette. It was, in essence, a girl trip, and we did all the girly fun things, like yoga on the beach, and we made charcuterie boards. We biked, we rented bikes. We went to Savannah, Georgia, by the way. We did brunch and bottomless mimosas and walked around to cute coffee shops. Just yummy, fun stuff. So that was by far the best girls trip I've ever been on. Any pet peeves? We got a running list, y'all. I really try to be positive, but there's so much that bothers me. I think a good way to encapsulate it is people who are impatient for no real reason. If there's a line and they're being annoying about it, or if the light has just turned green and they're already honking at you, it just drives me nuts. It's where do so rude. She was verbally saying things, her body language, she was like huffing and puffing, like grunting, like trying to make it known that she was impatient and annoyed. And she tried to like bring me in to like agree with her, and I refused. I just shrugged my shoulders and I was like, I got nowhere to be. Like, I just tried to show her that, what are you so worried about? Anyways, so that is one of my biggest pet peeves. And living in South Florida, we've got a lot of Spanish speakers, and then a lot of people who are just mean and not understanding and not patient. So I run into that a lot. So there's that. Am I close to the beach? And how often do I go? I'm about a 15 to 20 minute drive. 20 minute drive from the beach, which I think is the perfect distance. Perfect distance. I do go at least once a month. Probably I could go more, but life is busy. We're doing a lot of things on the weekend. So I go at least once a month, which I think with a busy life, that's doable. Do I speak any languages? I took French in high school, which we all know, taking a language in high school, it's not like real. But I also took French in college, which really fine-tuned my ability, and I studied abroad in France. Now, at that point, when I was studying abroad, I was a semi-fluent, is what I would call semi-fluent in French, and I was really proud of it. I was doing a really good job. Obviously, unless it comes naturally to you to keep up a language that you learned later in life, you have to use it. And after my trip, I stopped using it, and so I lost it. If I read something, I can, understand it, but if you're trying to have a conversation with me in French, I'm really lost. So yeah, that's that. It's that. That's another thing I regret, is not keeping up French. I was really good, guys. So sad. Would you ever buy a house? Oh yeah, for sure. If I had the money, I'd buy a house right now. Our priority is traveling right now, so a lot of our extra money is going to traveling. But we have like a house savings. Also though, we're not sure where we want to live long term yet, so it makes no sense to buy a house. I think once we figure out, oh, we want to live in this city, we'll probably move forward with buying a house. It'll be so much fun. Okay, do you love anything from the UK? I think what I love is a lot of the visuals, and anytime I see pictures of people who visit the UK, it's just really cool. I love the countryside. I love the aesthetic. I haven't really spent all that much time in the UK, so I feel like I don't really have anything specific to call out for that question, and I'm not just gonna say things to say things. So yeah. Oh, the next part of that question was, is there anything you would want to try, see, or do? Yeah, like I would want to tour. Like I would want to go to London, and tour everything. I would also want to go to, oh gosh, the town where Shakespeare is born. It starts with an A. I can't remember the name, but I would love to see where like Shakespeare grew up. I think that would be really cool, and I would love to visit the countryside. As I said, I think it looks beautiful. And if possible, I want to see where they filmed some of the Harry Potter stuff. Okay, am I gonna get Eras tickets in Miami? I tried, guys, and I didn't get them, but I was trying to. And if I was accepted or whatever, I would have got them. It just didn't happen. I'm heartbroken. I'm sad. We're moving on. And okay, this is the second most asked question. Will we see? Okay, this is the second most asked question. And it's about my husband. Will your husband be in a future video? When will your husband be in a video? Are we gonna meet your husband? All that stuff. And for now, no. My husband and I really value having our separate things. Like, he has his things that he just does, and I have my things. And there's a lot we share, and there's a lot we don't. And we're also very private people, like, about, even with our friends, we keep our personal life, you know, our intimate life very private. And as I've said to a lot of people, the internet is a scary place. And I just want to protect our life as much as possible, because I've seen people who share a lot, and that's fully their choice. But I don't know, sometimes it just doesn't look all that fun. And I don't want it to be where if I show him and then I stop showing him, people think something's wrong or we're getting a divorce and they ask. I don't know, I just don't want that. And he's not really into ASMR. He has other passions. This is my passion. So, for now, the answer is no. I'll let you know if that ever changes. What is the moment you felt most alive? I got two. I went to Italy after I graduated college, and we were along the Amalfi Coast, and we hiked this trail called the Path of the Gods, I believe. And being at the top of that, overlooking the water, I felt just so free and definitely the most alive. The other time is a huge juxtaposition, and the first time I rode the Hagrid roller coaster at Islands of Adventure. I know, that's a very different moment, but if you've never been on it, it's like a motorbike, and you like sit on the motorbike, and you just like fly through the air. And I remember I just like opened my arms, leaned back, and I felt so alive. It's my favorite roller coaster I've ever been on. So those are the two moments, I would say. Hobbies, interests. I should formally say that. What are your hobbies/interests? Number 1 is ASMR. Number 2 is writing. I love to write, for work and personal. Just writing in a notebook, writing short stories, writing poetry. I love doing that. I feel like decorating my home is also a hobby. I'm constantly like futzing with things, messing with things. We go and we see a lot of live music. We're a big live music couple, so we're constantly seeing both local and bigger live shows. And I would say those are the main things. Yeah, those are the main things. Okay. Do you have any pets, or would you like pets? We are getting a dog. Exciting announcement. Literally next week, we're getting a dog. It's a little puppy. Maybe I'll do like a video with her and talk about the story of why we're getting her now and all that. We've wanted a dog for a while, and the stars have just aligned for us, and now's the time. So, we're getting a dog. I'm really excited. I would also love cats one day, or like a cat one day in the future. Not now. Do you play any instruments? Well, funny you asked. Three. I was a band nerd in high school. Loved it. Had so much fun. Being a band nerd is amazing. I was also music. I love playing music, and then the reason I took up trumpet is for marching band, because football players are not in standard high school marching bands. So yes, I do play instruments. Not actively, not currently, but for many years I did, and I had so much fun. Okay, there were also a couple of questions about how I met my husband. I feel like I could do a whole video on this. I met my husband when we were 17. We just celebrated our 10-year anniversary, and we met through my best friend, who was my maid of honor at our wedding. It was a very classic high school scene, if you will. She went to a different high school than me, and so right before our senior year, she decided to throw a Shark Week, as in Animal Kingdom's Shark Week, themed party. And she wanted to have her school friends and her home friends meet. And as teenagers do, when there's a hot tub, we played spin the bottle, and my husband and I kissed, and he said he felt fireworks. So corny, so cute. And the next day he messaged me, and 2 weeks later, two weeks later, we were dating, and that was it. So, really crazy story, really uncommon. It does not usually work that way. It does not usually last. It does not usually work out. It was a struggle. It was really hard. It's not easy. We worked for it, for sure. It didn't just come easily. We're two very different people and had a lot to learn. So I know it's not your average story, but that's our story, and that's how we met. I love it. I love our story. Do you believe in ghosts? What a fun question. Yes, I definitely do, but my stance is I'm not going to think about them. Like, I know they're out there, but I'm not going to think about it, try to reach them. I just am. They exist, and I'll leave it at that. I'm not gonna get in the nitty-gritty. I'm not gonna try to understand or dive in. Like, they're doing their thing and I'm doing my thing. That's the same exact way I feel about aliens as well. So that's my stance. I really like that question. Okay. Favorites. We're moving from personal type questions to favorites. What is your all-time favorite author? Gosh, guys. I mean, if we're going like classic, Jane Austen. If we're going classic, if we're going modern, it's gotta be my favorite author of my favorite series, which is Cassandra Clare, which is the Mortal Instruments series. After that, my favorite poet author is Madison Gunn. I own every single one of her poetry books. I followed her back in the Tumblr days. I read all her stuff. I really love her. So those are the three, I guess. Favorite food for all meals: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast, bagels, bagels, bagels. If my body could handle it, I would eat a bagel every day. Every day. Lunch, a good pressed sandwich, like with all the good deli meat, the cheese, the lettuce, the tomatoes, and you like toast it and put some butter. Yum. Dinner, pasta. Again, if my stomach could handle it, every day, pasta. Specifically, gourmet mac and cheese. If there is gourmet mac and cheese on a menu, I will be ordering it. I can't resist. I don't want to resist. Okay, drink. Coffee. Iced coffee. Iced lavender with oat milk, to be specific. That's just a fun one. I really love that one. No Body, No Crime, Evermore. Gosh, there's so many. 5 is hard. Those are the first 5 I thought of. My favorite album, though, is Folklore. Beginning to end, I love every single song. Even though not all my favorite individual songs are from that album, that's my favorite front to back album. I recently really loved Exile. I used to not like Exile, now I like it. Okay. Favorite city to travel to. So for a long time it was Savannah. I love Savannah. Recently though, I went to Boston, and I don't know, it quickly became a favorite. So it's one of those two. But if you haven't had a chance to go to Savannah, please go. It's great. Favorite TV show? Of all time, The Vampire Diaries. The Vampire Diaries. Currently, guys, this is so hard. Can I just list some? I love Peaky Blinders. I love Game of Thrones. I love Scandal. There's quite a few anime shows I love. I love Hunter x Hunter. I love the Brotherhood, The Alchemist, whatever one. There's so many. Oh my goodness. I could do a whole video on TV shows. What next? Favorite thing to do with the girlies. Make dinner together at home and have a night in. Or do like a painting class. Like a fun little sip and paint thing. But like going to Publix, or going to the grocery store, and you're all together and picking out stuff, and you come home and you make it and you spread it out on the table. That's my favorite thing to do with the girlies, for sure. Current favorite candle. It's either gonna be the one that's burning back there, leaves, or this one. I just have it sitting here from a past video. It's Coffee House by the Apothen. I think it's based in LA actually, and it literally makes your house smell like you've just brewed a fresh pot of coffee. So those are that. My favorite way to relax. Watching ASMR. For sure. I'll give another option. Cleaning. Is that crazy, guys? Like, I feel like after I'm done cleaning, I feel like I can just take a deep breath, and I feel so much more relaxed than I did before. It's very therapeutic for me. Favorite thing to cook. Guys, I don't really like to cook. My husband is the chef in this relationship. I'm not good at it. I don't like to do it. But if I'm going to make something, blueberry muffins. I have a killer personal made recipe for blueberry muffins. Don't ask me why out of all things, but that's what I'm really good at making. That's what I like to cook. Okay, we got some more favorite books and recommendations. I didn't think about this beforehand. I should have. I've talked about this before, but I definitely recommend the prequel to The Hunger Games, which the movie is coming out in November. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. It is such a good read. You can read it even if you've not read any of the other books. That's a recommendation. I'll put a few recommendations in the caption or the description of this video. I am fully blanking. I should have thought about this ahead of time. Yeah, I'll leave a few recommendations. Sports. Do I like sports? Do I play them? Do I watch them? The only sport I play is tennis. I'd understand. So I do and understand tennis, so I love watching it, and I definitely have players I'm very attached to. Am I a Walt Disney World pass holder, and what is my favorite park? So I was as a kid, and then I was for a couple of years as an adult. We decided to cancel 2 years ago because we were saving up for our wedding and just needed to save more money, and they increased the prices, and we would be getting less for more money, or we would be spending more money but getting less for our passes, and it just wasn't worth it anymore. I love Disney, but I don't agree with a lot of the choices the company has made, for sure. My favorite park is Epcot. I love Epcot. I love it in January and February when they do Festival of the Arts. I love it during Christmas time. I love it during October, food and wine. I love to eat around the world. Epcot for sure. 5 must-have products. Okay. Eyebrow. The NYX Micro Pencil Eyebrow. The La Roche-Posay Moisturizer and Cleanser. Number 4, lashes, specifically the wispies that I love. Ardell wispies. The 5th must-have product. Is it lips? It's my shampoo. My Function of Beauty wavy hair shampoo. I just actually got my bangs trimmed, but that is the only thing that makes my hair do this and look good naturally. There we go. 5 must-have products. What makes you the happiest? What makes me the happiest? Doing things that make me feel good. No matter what it is. Going for a walk in the morning. Filming an ASMR video. Doing something I love at work. Things that make me feel my best. I feel like I can't be more specific than that. Because it's such a range of things, but things that add to my cup rather than drain it. Yeah. Okay, that wraps it up for the favorites. Now, let's move on to the ASMR-based questions. Does your husband know about your channel, and does he watch your videos? So yes, 100% for sure knows about my channel. He is so amazing and so supportive. Whenever I need to film, he either leaves and does something, or he's in one of the rooms just making no noise and pretending it doesn't exist. Quote from Harry Potter. Does he watch my videos? I mean, sometimes he'll take a peek, but no, not really. There's no need for him to. Also, he doesn't really enjoy ASMR. That's not his thing. He doesn't need it. So no, he doesn't really watch my videos. What inspired you to do ASMR? I have a very specific story for that. Back when I was 24, within 1 year, I was actually let go from 2 different jobs. It was in November, I was let go from the first, and then in the next June, I was let go from the other job I got. Neither was my fault. It was just due to company changes and whatnot, and it was really unlucky, and it really sucked, and it gave me this feeling of wanting something that no one could take away from me. I didn't know what that something was yet, but I wanted something that was mine, that I owned, that I had full control over, and that was ASMR. It ended up being ASMR. I also did have a desire to be on YouTube, but I wasn't really about being a lifestyle blogger, vlogger, YouTuber. I didn't want all that. I wanted something more simplified, and so I decided ASMR, and I've enjoyed it every day since. What are your favorite ASMRtists? I have so many. I'm gonna try to link all my favorites below. Off the top of my head, ASMR Fleur. love you, love her, great. And Krista ASMR, I feel like those are the two ASMR artists I'm closest with. Like, I don't interact a lot online or on Twitter or anything like that, but the two of them, I watch all their videos. I feel like they're so supportive of me and they make amazing content. So those are top two. ASMR Jade, I love her work ethic. That girl is posting videos constantly. She's awesome. Bigger ones, ASMR Planet. Obsessed. I watch all her videos. ASMR Darling, I wish she posted more, but life is life. She's the first ASMR artist I ever watched, which I feel like that's a common experience for a lot of us. Oh my gosh, there are so many. Let me just link them all below. Being that I didn't write them down, I'm not going to remember them. Would you ever collaborate with other ASMR artists, and what is your dream ASMR collab? I think in the future, when I can actually be on a good schedule and be able to commit to a deadline, I would love to collaborate. Right now, my filming frequency is so infrequent, and I don't have a good schedule, so I would never want to. I want to be reliable. So when I'm at a good point where I can be reliable, I would love to do a collaboration. Who would I love to do a collaboration with? I don't know. I feel like someone with my similar style, which there's a lot out there. I don't know who my dream collab is. I've never really thought about collaborations. I think they're cool. I think they're awesome. They're great for the community and for ASMR artists. But this has always been something like I've done as a creative outlet and haven't like taken crazy seriously and like thought through things like collaborations. Comment who you think I should collab with. Maybe it'll inspire me. Okay, triggers you love. Tapping. Tapping is my favorite. Tapping will, for me, nothing will ever beat tapping. Scratching as well. Tapping and scratching. I love like slow face touching and brushing. I love like metal jewelry sounds. I love crinkles. Like, I really love all the classics. Things I don't love are heavy mouth sounds. I'm not into, like, visually for me, plucking doesn't really do it for me. Tapping is what I crave. Okay, we're done with the ASMR questions. Now we're on to the final few, which is the goal and career-oriented questions. What's your full-time job? I work for a digital marketing agency. We're all remote, so we all live all over the US. I just celebrated my 4-year work anniversary, which means you know it's a good company, it's a good time. I love it. I'm blessed. I love my team. I love the variety of work I get to do. My title is creative copywriter, so if it has words, I'm doing it. I'm all about the words. So that is my top job. How did I get into my work? I always wanted to go into something with writing. Originally I wanted to write books, and then marketing just was what I kind of did more, loved more. Books were a lot. Books are a side passion, so now I wanted to be in marketing, and I just started entering marketing jobs and eventually applied for the one I'm at now. A lot of online searching for job opportunities and stuff like that. I took a lot of literature and writing and marketing based classes I wanted to write. I wanted to communicate with people through words, and through taking a whole variety of writing-based classes, creative marketing ended up being what I was best suited for. So it was a little bit of trial and error in college for sure. Okay, the last few goal questions. Where do you want to travel to? The list goes on and on. Spain is my next place I have my sights set on. I'd love to go to Australia. That's going to be a bigger trip in the future. And then lastly, I want to see the Great Wall of China. I want to go to Tokyo. I want to see Asia, China, Japan, Thailand. I'd love to go to Thailand, so that whole section. So those are the top 3 places I'm really thinking about next. What are my bucket list items? I'd like to actually publish a book. I have a few that I've tinkered with. I'd love to publish a book. Bucket list 1. I want to go skydiving somewhere beautiful, not on flat Florida. I want to go skydiving, and I don't know, I think I would love to run a race just to see that I could do it. Not some crazy marathon, something shorter. Those are the 3. Those are the first 3. Okay, last question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I definitely see myself owning a house at that point. I see myself either beginning to prepare to have a family. I see myself still doing ASMR, hopefully with upgraded equipment at that point and a whole filming room. And I see myself still continuing to pursue living life fully the way I do now. Age is not going to have any impact on that. That's where I see myself in 5 years. Okay, we made it through literally so many questions. If you're still here, thanks for sticking around. I'm so happy you're here. Thanks for being here. I hope that you enjoyed this and that you enjoyed hearing all the answers. And yeah, again, thank you so much for being here. Again, thank you so much for watching, for supporting, for subscribing. It's why I do this. It means the world.